But what if this legend isn't supernatural at all? Could it simply be accidents, terrain, and human tragedy slowly rewritten as a ghost story? I'm Kim, and this is Hung Channel.
Do you know why some places become legends? Not because they're proven true, but because something feels unfinished. Tonight, we travel into the mountains of Hong Kong, to a quiet waterfall known as Bride's Pool. Beneath its calm surface lies a story passed down for generations. A bride in red, a wedding that never happened, and whispers that refuse to fade. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how a single tale, mixed with real tragedies, turned this place into one of Hong Kong's most unsettling legends. Chapter 1: Between Mountains and Water. The space where legends are born. Hong Kong is full of mountains and streams, and hidden among them, countless stories have been whispered for generations. Some say urban legends are passed down not because they are proven true, but because between truth and rumor there is always a gap, and people cannot resist filling that gap. One of the most classic examples is Bride's Pool. This waterfall, located in Plover Cove Country Park in the Northeast New Territories, has been famous since the late Qing dynasty. Beside it stands an old stone bridge, Bride's Pool Stone Bridge. The inscription still carved on its stone records the year Guangxu 33, 1906, when it was built to connect the villages of Luk Kang and Wukao Tang. But what made Bride's Pool notorious was never the bridge, nor the scenery. It was the legend of a bride in a red wedding dress, who never made it to her marriage. The story goes back to the Qing dynasty, and over the years, countless versions have been told. Almost all begin with the same scene: a young bride from Luk Kang carried in a sedan chair, on her way to marry in Shuttlecock. Chapter 2: The most widely told version, Rain, a Slip and a Fall. The first and most widely known version tells this. Many years ago, 4 porters carried a bride dressed in a bright red gown, crowned with a phoenix coronet. She departed from Tai Mei Tok on her way to Shuttlecock. Relatives and friends followed behind. Beating drums and gongs, the roads filled with joy. But as they passed the waterfall that we now call Bride's Pool, the sky darkened and rain poured down. The path turned slick, rocks glistening wet, and red clay water seeped across the trail, like blood. One porter slipped. The sedan lurched, and the bride, with all her finery, was thrown into the torrent below. She struggled, but the weight of her ceremonial dress dragged her down. The current swallowed her, and she never surfaced again. Since then, the place has been called Bride's Pool. Next to it lies Mirror Pool, named because some say her restless spirit appears there, gazing at her reflection, fixing her bridal attire in the water's surface. Chapter 3: The Sorrowful Version, a Forced Marriage and the Final Choice. The second version is soaked in sorrow. In this telling, the bride never wanted the marriage. Forced into it by her family, she sat in the sedan chair with tears in her eyes, face pale with despair. When the procession reached the waterfall, she could bear it no longer. She opened the curtain, stepped out, and in her heavy red dress walked straight into the pool. Before anyone could react, she sank into the depths, ending her life at once. But her spirit did not rest. Hikers have sworn that at night, in the drifting mist above the pool, a crimson silhouette can be seen, sometimes still, sometimes pacing, and sometimes the faint sobbing of a woman echoes with the sound of running water. Chapter 4. The dramatic version, Elopement, Disappearance, and Two Wandering Souls. The third version adds drama. Here, the bride was in love with one of the porters, but her parents forced her to marry a stranger, so the two lovers hatched a desperate plan. When the procession reached the waterfall, the porter slipped, tipping the sedan chair. Everyone thought the bride had fallen into the pool and drowned. In truth, she and the porter fled together, vanishing into the mountains. This version, though romantic, is told with a chill, because some say the couple never escaped fate. Both disappeared without a trace. And the figures sometimes seen near the pool are said to be their wandering souls, forever trapped. Of course, there are far more versions. Some claim the bride was pushed deliberately by the porters. Some say her parents arranged her death. Others even insist the mountain spirits claimed her. But no matter the telling, the ending is always the same. A bride in crimson, drowned in the waters. Chapter 5. Rational questions, terrain, fragments of history, and a chain of real tragedies. Skeptics have asked, could this really have happened? The terrain doesn't look like it would cause such a fall. History offers some answers. Today, tourists see the stone bridge. But that bridge was only built in 1906. Before then, wedding processions had to ford the stream. For a woman in a heavy bridal gown, if the river rose suddenly in a storm, a slip would mean certain death. And records confirm that the name Bride's Pool already appeared in the late Qing era. But why did a single old tale grow into one of Hong Kong's most haunted sites? Because for more than a century, real tragedies continued to happen here. In 1982, newspapers reported a man's body found near Bride's Pool. The case was treated as murder. In 1998, a father parked his car on Bride's Pool Road with his two young daughters. Inside the sealed car, he lit charcoal. All three died of carbon monoxide poisoning. The three bodies case shocked the entire city. In the years that followed, Bride's Pool Road gained a grim reputation as an accident black spot. Motorcycles and private cars alike lost control, crashing into the ravines. In 2011, ashes and ancestral tablets were discovered near the pool. In 2020, a hiker fell to his death at the waterfall. And in 2022, during heavy rain, a woman slipped into a gully and vanished. Each death, each disappearance, layer upon layer, binding Bride's Pool ever tighter to its legend. Chapter 6. Cold News, Living Whispers, The Final Warning. The news reports were cold, a few lines of print, but the whispers in the villages added details. A driver swore that on a rainy night, a woman in red waved him down, but when he stopped, no one was there. Others said they heard sobbing or the sound of a comb through long hair rising with the wind. Some claimed that in the water's reflection, they saw not their own faces, but the blurred outline of a bride in red. The truth? No one will ever know. Some say she died by accident. Some say it was suicide. Some say she ran away with her lover. History gives us fragments. Newspapers give us numbers. But the spaces between have been filled, generation after generation, by the legend of the bride in red. Today, tourists still take photos, and hikers still walk the education trail. But late at night, especially when the rain falls, people still whisper. In the drifting mist of the waterfall, a red shadow moves. Some say she gazed down, adjusting her crown. Some say she simply stands, waiting for the wedding that never came. And some say she is waiting for the next passerby. So the next time you walk past Bride's pool, and the sound of wind and water seems to mix with sobbing, with the faint echo of drums and gongs, it might be wise not to turn around.
I'm Kim. Please subscribe, like, and share. And stay with me. You will never face the dark unknown.